Everybody join in this melody.
Let us unite, let us unite.
That's the only way we're gonna be free.
Unite, let us unite.
Everybody singing this sweet refrain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Sing this melody till it gets in your brain. Well, I'm talking to you, Muslim, Christian, and Hebrew. Anything to do, we got to unite, or else we are through.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Everybody singing this sweet refrain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Sing this melody till it gets in your brain.
Unite, let us unite.
Everybody singing this melody.
Let us unite, let us unite.
That's the only way we're gonna be free. They're united in Ghana, Guinea, Mali, and Nigeria. All over Africa, the people are getting together. They're even uniting in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Angola. And Rumour's vision will light the world over from Cape to Cairo, one Africa.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Everybody singing this sweet refrain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Sing this melody till it gets in your brain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Come on, do it tonight.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Brothers and sisters, let us unite.
There is a need for unity. The best for you and me. There is a need for unity. The best for you and me. Unity.
Everybody joining this melody. That's the only way we're gonna be free.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Come on, do it tonight.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Brothers and sisters, let us unite. Well, they're uniting in Cuba, Trinidad, Tobago, and Grenada. Sing it with Rico and Jamaica. Let us unite in America. The yellow man moving in Asia. The red man awakening in India. The black man rising up in Africa. Let us jump up in America. Ha! Ha! Ha!
There is a need for unity. The best for you and me.
All of the nations of the earth as we speak are angry. They're angry because governments cannot suffice the needs of their people. They're angry because a few have gotten wealthy at the expense of the many. And the poor and the sick and the weak and the unlearned multiply. And the value of their lives are diminished by the rich and the powerful, so that when human life is devalued, that in the eyes of man you are unworthy of the gift of life, then it is easy for another human being to take the life of another human being that he or she has devalued. Black life in America is devalued. Hispanic life is devalued. Even poor white life is devalued. There's a way that I have to behave. I'm free, but I'm not free to rob you of yours. I'm not free to take from you what does not belong to me. So if I will construct my life according to these righteous principles, then between man and man, man and woman, peace. Between race and race, peace. Between rich and poor, peace. We have our beautiful Mexican family. This once was theirs. So you can't say to them they are aliens. That's a horrible word to use for former owners. I see my indigenous family here. Many tribes, but they're really one great nation of people that now must be reunited with themselves. So it's their time now, as well as ours, that God would intervene in our affairs and bring the bottom rail to the top. The government is not rehabilitating soldiers. When they send you away to kill. When you come home, they gotta reconstitute you for civilian life again. Make sure you have a job so you can take care of your family, but they're not doing it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, a woman can do anything that a man does, and the only thing he forbids the woman to do is the thing that degrades her. So how high can you go? High as you want to. Why would God allow the female to wear his attributes if you can't be a manifestation of that attribute? Women, you got to be set free. What God has put within you must be cultivated, must be developed, and must be used for the advancement of a nation and a world. I said to myself, Mr. President, why the hell don't you go to the wicked police department? Why the hell don't you stand up and tell them that your killing of black youth and brown youth is not gonna hold no more? Why don't you stand up? God's world is in need of a truth that will set up a government where everybody can live in peace, under real freedom, real justice, and real equality.
God uses ordinary people. He does in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, he lets us see all into the personal lives of the people that he called. Thank God for the Old Testament, because it gives us a realistic view of people who were good and bad, who were strong and weak, who were right and wrong, who were victorious and victimized. It helps us to assess our own life, that your life is not going to be a straight line. It's not going to be a straight horizontal. There's going to be peaks and valleys and uprisings and downsettings. Such is life. Somebody was talking to me the other day about something they were going through, and I told them life is doing what life does. Life is just doing what life does. It's not a demonic attack. It's not spiritual warfare. Life is just doing what life does. It gives and it takes. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It has moments of victory and it has moments of defeat. Such is the case with the character before us today. He's an interesting character. I must admit that if I were Jesus, I probably would not knowingly have gotten involved with this guy. There are certain people, if you get involved with them, they're going to be a lot of work. All of us going to be some work. But there are certain people that's going to be a lot of work. This guy was a lot of work. I would have tried to, if I only had 12 guys in 3 years to get it all done, I'd try to pick 12 of the best to make it easy so that I didn't have to waste time ministering inwardly while I'm trying to reach outwardly. But such is life. Such is life. You're always ministering outwardly and inwardly simultaneously. You're always trying to be a message to the world and not lose your own house. You're always trying to encourage somebody and wrestling with discouragement inside of yourself. Where are my real people at? But Jesus had to get a hold of this guy because this guy did not know who he was. When Jesus first met him, he is one of the first disciples Jesus picked. This guy thought he was just a businessman. He thought he was a business owner. He had a fishing company. He had a fishing fleet. He went out every day to fish. When Jesus first met him, that's how he saw himself, as a fisherman. And Jesus had a higher vision of him and said, I will make you fishers of men. Right now, you're fishers of fish. You're doing what you're going to do on a lower level. Your history is always a glimpse of what you're going to do in your destiny. God's going to take something that you already did and take it to the next level and use it to bless you. You're going to the next dimension. You're still going to be fishing, but you're going to fish in another kind of way. And he gets a hold to Peter, and he comes along on Peter at a time that Peter is washing his nets. He's washing his nets. He thought he was through for the day. And Jesus walks down to the seashore, and Peter and Andrew are washing their nets. And Jesus says to him, can I use your boat? Suppose Peter had said no. That's my boat. I don't know you. I might have said no. Don't look at me all funny. Can I use your car? That's the equivalent of somebody strange you don't know just walking up to you saying, can I borrow your car? Peter's boat was his livelihood. But he had a giving spirit. That might be why God chose him. He had a giving, generous spirit. The very thing that all your friends tell you to stop being, that might be the very thing that got his whole life changed. He had not become cynical yet. He had not become so suspicious yet. Peter let a stranger borrow his boat. I got to bring it down where you can see the level of sacrifice. Somebody just walk up to you at 7-Eleven and say, let me use your car for a minute. You say, get out of here. And all of a sudden, something happens. Because what Jesus is really teaching Peter is, listen to this, his business is his platform. Peter's business becomes Christ's platform. I put you in business so you could have this moment. I didn't put you in this business about the fish. I started you out as a fisherman because I knew I was coming and I was going to need somebody I could trust to take me across the waters. I'm positioning you for purpose, not for profit. Oh my God, I'm preaching already. God didn't put you on that job to make money. God can let money rain down in your backyard if he wanted to. God can let somebody just give you some money, win some money, walk away with some money. God put you on that job for purpose. And a relationship ensued. When Jesus got through preaching on Peter's boat, there was a connection, there was a tie, almost like an Elijah-Elisha moment. It was a tie where Jesus says to Peter, follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men. In order to follow Jesus, he had to walk away from what he had in mind. The hardest thing in the world is to walk away from what you had in mind. He had never got up that morning thinking, I'm going to stop fishing and start driving this guy around. That was not what he was planning to do for the next 3 years of his life. But for the next 3 years of his life, he becomes an Uber driver, moving Jesus from place to place, having an encounter with Jesus that was life-changing. And his life would never be the same again. He not only become Jesus' driver on the water, he has encounters because of his connection with Jesus that he would have never had any other way. Peter got to walk on the water just because he was connected to Jesus. It does matter who you're connected to. There are certain perks and certain benefits and certain favors that come not because of who you are, but because of who you're connected to. You get to have some experiences just because you're connected to the right people. That's why the enemy is trying to isolate you. Because many times your blessing is in your relationship with the very person he's trying to cut you off from. I don't know who I'm preaching to. Your next is in your connections. Your next is in your connection. And Peter has the next, and all of a sudden he becomes a part of Jesus' inner circle with Jesus, the Messiah, the son of David, the seed of Abraham, the root of Jesse, the I am, the mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the everlasting Father, the kinsman redeemer, the day star, the lily of the valley, the Son of God, Emmanuel, Jehovah Sikkenu, Jehovah Rohi, Jehovah Mana. He becomes in the inner circle with El Shaddai. Oh God, can you imagine what it's like to be just kicking it with Jesus? It's one thing to come worship him. It's another thing to be at Starbucks with Jesus. Hey, Jesus, let's stop at McDonald's and get a Big Mac and fry. Just kicking it with Jesus. He was in the inner circle, and he got to do things he would have never done. He would have never got to walk on the water had he not been connected with Jesus. He never would have gotten to see the woman with the issue of blood get healed if he wasn't connected with Jesus. He never would have seen blind Bartimaeus' eyes open up, but he got it because he was connected to Jesus. Is anybody connected to Jesus? There's some blessings you're going to get just because you're connected with Jesus. There's some blessings you're going to get because you're connected with Jesus. He was part of the inner circle. And he probably had less reason to be in the inner circle. If God would judge like men, Peter would have never made the cut to be in the inner circle. He was the most unlearned of all the disciples. He was not there because he was an intellectual. He was not there because he was educated, but he had something about him. There's a thing that God puts inside of people that transcends your background, your intellect, your IQ. If you got education and don't have that thing, you still might not be successful in life. There's a thing God gives you. I don't even know what to call it. It's nebulous. It's indescript. It's hard to find. You can't manufacture it and you can't will it to anybody. You either got it or you don't. There's a thing. Glory to God. Peter had that thing about him. He was rough around the edges, but he had that thing about him, and Jesus took him everywhere. Took him up on the Mount of Transfiguration and showed him the glory that should be. Showed him the future. Allowed him to see amazing things of which Peter didn't even know how to respond to. Peter got excited because Peter was a man of action. And whenever you showed Peter something, he's going to do something. Said, let's build 3 tabernacles. One for Moses, and one for Elijah, and one for you. Let's build 3 of them. He said, calm down. Calm down. Peter was excited when he saw Jesus walking on the water. Hey, if that's you, bid me to come. I'm going out there where you are. Peter was excited. He was excited. He was rambunctious. He was so rambunctious when they came to get Jesus, he cut out his sword and said, the devil is alive. I gotta admit, sometimes it's nice to have a few Peters in the crowd. Just, it's a good feeling. I get tired of people who say they're with you, but when you're in a fight, they won't say nothing. Then people make me nervous. Those people who come back and telling you what everybody said about you, and you know that means that they didn't say nothing. Peter, it was clear whose side he was on. There was no ambiguity about where he stood. In a fight, Peter pulled his sword and said, I'll take you out right now. Cut the man's ear right off his head. So you know he was aiming high. He wasn't the guy who pulled out his sword and stabbed the guy in the foot. He cut his ear off. Said, don't come over here no more. It's going to get worse.
Welcome to 99bitcoins.com. I'm Nate Martin, and I'll be your guide through this video series, Bitcoin Whiteboard Tuesday. We're going to cover a lot of topics, such as Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallets, how to trade Bitcoin, and a lot more. Today, we're going to start from scratch and answer the most searched term on Google today, what is Bitcoin? If you're worried that we're going to get too technical and use a lot of complicated words, don't. You'll be able to understand everything. Works than 99% of the population. So let's get started. I want to take a moment and talk about money. What is money exactly? At its core, money in exchange for the value I gave you. I can then use that money to get something of value from someone else in the history. Value has taken many forms, and people have used a lot of different materials to represent money. Salt, wheat, shells, and of course, gold. However, in order for something to represent value, people have to trust that it is indeed valuable and will stay valuable in the future. Up until 100 years ago or so, we always trusted in something to represent money. However, something happened along from trusting something to trusting in someone. Let me explain. Over time, People found it too cumbersome to walk around the world carrying gold, let's say worth $1,000, and in return, that bank would give you receipt certificates, which we call bills, amounting to $1,000. Not only were these pieces of paper into 1,000 pieces, and if you wanted your gold back, you simply took $1,000 in bills back to the bank bar whenever you needed. And so paper began its use as money as an instrument of practicality and convenience. And due to macroeconomic changes, this bond between the paper receipt and the gold it stands for was broken. Now, to explain but suffice to say that governments told their people that the government itself would be liable for the value of that paper money. Gold and trade paper instead. Or euros or any other currency for that matter have it's what's known as legal tender, coins or banknotes that must be accepted if offered as payment. So the value of money actually comes from a legal status given to it by a central authority, in this case, the government. And so the trust model has changed from trusting something to trusting someone, in this case, the government. Fiat money has two main drawbacks. One, it is centralized. You have a central authority that issues it. In this case, the government or central bank. And two, it is not limited by quantity. The government or central bank can print as much as needed and inflate the money supply on the market. The problem with printing money is that because you're flooding the market with more money, the dollar drops. So your own money is worth less. When you see prices rising throughout the years, it's not necessarily that prices are rising. The purchasing power of your money is dropping. You need more dollars to buy something that used to cost less. Once fiat money was in place, money was pretty simple. We already have a central authority that issues money, so why not make money mostly digital and let that authority keep track of who owns what? Today, we mainly use credit cards, wire transfers, PayPal, and other forms of digital money. The amount of physical money in the world is almost negligible, getting smaller with each year that passes. So if money today is digital, how does that even work? I mean, if I have a file that represents $1, what's to stop me from copying it a million times and having $1 million? This is called the double spend problem. The solution that banks use today is a centralized solution. They keep which keeps track of who owns what. Everyone has an account, and this ledger keeps a tally for each account. We all trust the bank, and the bank trusts their computer, and so the solution is centralized on this ledger in this computer. You may not know this, but there were many attempts to create alternative forms of digital currencies. However, none were successful in solving the double spend problem without a central authority. Whenever you give anyone control over the money supply, you're giving them enormous power, and this creates three major issues. The first issue is corruption. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. When banks have a mandate to create money or value, they basically control the flow of value in the world, which gives them almost unlimited power. A small example of how power corrupts can be seen in the Wells Fargo scandal, where employees secretly created millions of unauthorized bank and credit card accounts in order to inflate the bank's revenue stream, without their customers knowing about it for years. The second issue of a centralized system is mismanagement. If the central authority's interest isn't aligned with the people it controls, there may be a case of mismanagement of the money. For example, printing a lot of money in order to save a certain bank or institution from collapsing, as what happened in 2008. The problem with printing too much money is that it causes inflation and basically erodes the value of the citizens' money. One extreme example for this is Venezuela, where the government has printed so much money and the value of it has dropped so much that people are no longer counting money, but are weighing it instead. The last issue is control. You are basically giving away all control of your money to the government or bank. At any point in time, the government can decide to freeze your account and deny you access to your funds. Even if you use only cold hard cash, the government can cancel the legal status of your currency, as was done in India a few years back. This was the state of things until 2009. Creating an alternative to the current monetary system seemed like a lost cause, but then everything changed. In October of 2008, a document was published online by a guy calling himself Satoshi Nakamoto. The document, also called a white paper, suggested a way of creating a system for a decentralized currency called Bitcoin. This system claimed to create digital money that solves the double spend problem without the need for a central authority. At its core, Bitcoin is a transparent ledger without a central authority. But what does this confusing phrase even really mean? Well, let's compare Bitcoin to the bank. Since most money today is already digital, the bank basically manages its own ledger of balances and transactions. However, the bank's ledger is not transparent, and it's stored on the bank's main computer. You can't sneak a peek into the bank's ledger, and only the bank has complete control over it. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is a transparent ledger. At any point in time, I can sneak a peek into the ledger and see all of the transactions and balances that are taking place. The only thing you can't figure out is who owns these balances and who is behind each transaction. This means Bitcoin is pseudo-anonymous. Everything is open, transparent, and trackable, but you still can't tell who's sending what to whom. Let's explain this with an example. You can see on your screen certain rows from Bitcoin's ledger. We can see that a certain Bitcoin address sent 10,000 Bitcoins to another Bitcoin address in May of 2010. This specific transaction is the first purchase that was ever made with Bitcoin, and it was used to buy 2 pizzas by a guy named Laszlo. Laszlo published a post back in 2010 asking for someone to sell him 2 pizzas in exchange for 10,000 Bitcoins. Well, someone did, and now the price of these 2 pizzas is worth well over $100 million today. Bitcoin is also decentralized. There's no one computer that holds the ledger. With Bitcoin, every computer that participates in the system is also a copy of the ledger, also known as the blockchain. So if you want to take down the system or hack the ledger, you'll have to take down thousands of computers which are keeping a copy and constantly updating it. Like most money today, Bitcoin is also digital. This means there's nothing physical that you can touch in Bitcoin. There are no actual coins. There are only rows of transactions and balances. When you own Bitcoin, it means that you own the right to access a specific Bitcoin address record in the ledger and send funds from it to a different address. So what does all of this mean? Why is Bitcoin such big news? Well, for the first time since digital money came into existence, we now have an alternative to the current system. Bitcoin is a form of money that no government or bank can control. Think about the time before the internet, how centralized the flow of information was. Basically, if you wanted information, you could get it from a few major players like the New York Times, the Washington Post, and others like them. Today, thanks to the internet, information is decentralized and you can communicate and consume knowledge from around the world with a click of a button. Bitcoin is the internet of money, and it's offering a decentralized solution to money. Bitcoin has several advantages over the current system. First, it gives you complete control over your money. With Bitcoin, you and you alone can access your funds. How you actually do this will be explained in a later video. No government or bank can decide to freeze your account or confiscate your holdings. Bitcoin also cuts a lot of the middlemen from the process of transferring money. This means that in many cases, Bitcoin is cheaper to use than traditional wire transfers or money orders. Also, unlike fiat currencies, Bitcoin was designed to be digital by nature. This means you can add additional layers of programming on top of it and turn it into smart money, but more on that in later videos. Finally, Bitcoin opens up digital commerce to 2.5 billion people around the world who don't have access to the current banking system. These people are unbanked or underbanked because of where they live and the reality that they've been born into. However, today, with a mobile phone and a click of a button, they can start trading using Bitcoin. No permission needed. Today, there are several merchants online and offline that accept Bitcoin. You can order a flight or book a hotel with Bitcoin if you like. There are even Bitcoin debit cards that allow you to pay at almost any store with your Bitcoin balance. However, the road toward acceptance by the majority of the public is still a long one. As we continue in this video series, we will break down exactly how Bitcoin works and how to use it. We will learn about Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallets, how to buy Bitcoins, and much more. The revolution of money began in 2009, and these days we are seeing it change money as we know it. You may still have some questions. If so, just leave them in the comment section below. And if you're watching this video on YouTube and enjoy what you've seen, don't forget to hit the like button. Then make sure to subscribe for notifications about new episodes. Thanks for joining me here at the whiteboard. For 99bitcoins.com, I'm Nate Martin, and I'll see you in a bit.
No unity, no power. White power for white people. Black power for black people. 1967. The Black Panther Party. The movement. Freedom.
Let's talk about freedom.
We will not bow down to racism. We will not bow down to injustice. We will not bow down to exploitation. I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna stand.
Now this is time for free your mind and your soul. Yo, our story has never been told. Ladies, you got to demand what you want, and what we want is respect, right?
Come and take a walk with me, close to walk with me, see what only I can see.
Sisters, check this. Watch this.
Turn us loose, set us free from all the chains that bind me. Let us run in our own direction. Let us go, set us free from all this propaganda and lies that your people try to teach us. I know why you would like to bring us down, because we have all the belong you. You try to tell us that our lives don't mean anything, but we know so much better, so we're gonna take up the freedom. Freedom for my body, freedom for my mind, freedom for my spirit. All this time you've been telling us these lies, but now we finally figured out okay. Yeah, all that we would never wise up, but we'll show the how black female can do. But still you continue to keep us oppressed. But no, we ain't going out like that. Oh no. All these lies and all this propaganda you want us to take, we're gonna take it. Freedom from my body, freedom from my mind, freedom from my spirit, freedom from my body, freedom from my my soul. I see the fear in your eyes, surprise your colors bent low. I know just who I am and what I wanna do. I can make you run, make you hide from all your ancestors' transgression that you hold inside. Sister rising up and sing that our time is here. We're taking back what's been ours for years.
Let the heaven of a sister embrace you and praise the mother
All
God.
these lies and all this propaganda that you want us to say, we're gonna take out. Freedom from my mind. Freedom for my
Man, oh man, oh man. Ready for Evolution, and welcome to another edition of Class in Session. I'm your brother and friend, Brother Eric Teray Muhammad. Oh, we got a little time left and you chat it up a little bit. So greetings, family. Y'all show love for each other and go and shout each other out. I see Busy Bird is back in the house. I see Enos Shaw. I see Sean Montague. I see Kevin Miller in the house. The Vicks, Mr. and Mrs. Brother and Sister Ronald and Sharon are in the house. Hey, Sister Demawi, good to see you. Hey, Sister Rochelle, good to see you, family. Good to see you. Y'all continue to shout each other out. Yes, Roz Range, it is absolutely necessary. Reggie Scott, freedom is what it's all about. I want to first thank you again for being a part of this extraordinary session of Class in Session. And, you know, Ronald Newton hit it right. The balance of the presentation we offered, it gave such combination. You know, in any other time in history, have Louis Farrakhan, T.D. Jakes, and then a talk about Bitcoin, you know, it may not have resonated with you. It may have turned you because we were so secular in what we were into. We were all wrapped up. Wa alaikum salam, Brother Denan Muhammad. We're so wrapped up in what we thought we knew and understood, right? Those times have changed. Those days are over with. Those times are done. You know, the God wants unity. God is not the author. He is not the author of division. He is the author of being one in the same mind as him. And what we have on hand is so painstakingly meaningful and liberating, you know, that you have to be deaf, dumb, and blind not to even absorb any of it. So the combinations that we use today is done out of a science. And that's still the universality of each of us as a people, our disciplines, our skill sets, our degrees, our non-degrees. These things resonate, as Brother Rockman just said, universal truth. The rock is in the house, y'all. You know, it is true. It is true. And that is something that we must embrace if we want to be free. Okay? There's no rock. If you want to be free, you got to embrace those that are on the road. You got to embrace the methodology. You have to embrace the system that's in that new lifestyle, that new us, that God intends for us to have. So I'm I'm cranked up this morning because we represent something the world has yet to understand, that the world doesn't even know, and God blessed us to get it now in the future. And this is my point, my main point of the morning. As we draw to a close, we must close ranks. We must close ranks as a collective army of wealth builders. It's a volunteer army. These are things that we have to volunteer in order to realize the goal. And it starts with, for me anyway, classes in session every Monday through Saturday, sometimes Sunday, 8 a.m. Eastern, on the Eric Teray Muhammad Facebook pages, We Are Farrakhan page, the Eric Teray Muhammad page, the public page book, you know, and our YouTube channels, the Eric Teray Muhammad YouTube channel and Team Believes Believe TV. Oh yeah, it's happening, y'all. It's happening. And Sister Damawi says constantly, as well as Cece, we are just getting started. We are really just getting started. So I appreciate your time and energy with classes in session. We're going to run through the housekeeping rules and help us to understand what's in front of us and why it's so necessary to put that combination together. Because we must stay connected. We must plug in. We must be a part of that which is meaningful to our very existence. And see, when you're on a road of millionaire truth, when you're on a road of billionaire status, you are. When you're on the road of a wealthy mission, you have to be plugged in. Those that are right along there with you. You know, if you didn't find it in your neighborhood growing up, that's not where you go back to find it. If you don't find it in the company you keep, that's not where you stay. You have to position yourself around the people who are in with the dream, with the vision, with the opportunity, with the goal. Are you ready to be God of your goals? That's the real question here. Are you ready to be a God over your goals? Well, if you are, you have to do something. And I'm going to share that something to do from our brother Reggie Scott. He tells us that you are in, that's right, today's power call on the new platform, 10:45 a.m. Eastern, 9:45 a.m. Central, 8:40 time, and 7:45 a.m. Damawi Pacific time. We are born for a time such as this. Raise the volume to bring the noise, not to get caught up in the hype, but the actual facts related to your freedom. And your password is here. I see you, CC. That's right. I know that's right. Thank you, Sister Maui. Here's your password. Now, by now, it's because you don't know truthfully what you have in your hands. www.goldrocks.info. www.goldrocks.info is the event page of Wealth Builders Worldwide, and that on the screen is your password. The password. So you need to get with those who are in the opportunity, those that have invited you in the past, those of you this session this morning, get with those leaders and find out the password and join us at 10:45 a.m. time here in the U.S. for the mighty Wednesday power call. Is this Wednesday? Is this the hump? Sister Sherry Brown and her team in the house bringing the noise. And then 12 noon, we have the live wealth building presentation. The world are invited by people like us who are living and breathing the dream, and we invite them to embrace it as well. So on the same platform, www.goldrocks.info, you do have the power call at 10:45 Eastern, the 12 noon presentation there, also Eastern Standard Time, and back again this evening at 9 p.m. with Brother Roger Williams and Mr. Michael L. Delco. And then at 10 p.m., We're there for the freedom call from our illustrious leader and guide in Wealth Builders Worldwide, Mr. Tyrone Best. Okay, you want to be here to change the nature of our experiences is to change the nature of our thoughts. What happens when you're thrown into a totally new environment and you have nothing but the past to rely on? Well, you're going to do as you know with the hope that it's applicable for today. Here's the difference. We know the hour. Yesterday's experiences have pretty much, for the most part, dissipated. All of yesterday in terms of traditions, what you were accustomed to doing. No, you're not going to school in the same way you were. No, the job market is not there like it used to be. No, have changed. So therefore, you might find yourself out of step, out of sync. And no, the banks are not your friends. Norm in the new society. It takes a new people with a new solution for the old problems. And that is us, family. Because as Brother Kevin says, WBW, that's where we build winners. Okay, was it important to show you so much of the, help to give you an understanding anyway of the Bitcoin dynamic? It's not something that's going away. It is the norm. It is the new norm. It was with us in the old way since 2009. Now it is established and it has emerged, and cryptocurrency is generally accepted, not everywhere, but everywhere. I'm inviting all of you to join us this Sunday. Take a screenshot. This Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. We have a Team Believe online training event with the one and only Steve Coates. That'll be this Sunday, the 17th of January at 3 p.m. Eastern here in the United States. You're seeing pretty much everywhere in social media, and you're going to find that what we have to offer will help you understand what you have volunteered yourself for in this army of wealth builders. You chose to join on to Gold Standard Partners. You chose to go along and get your airdrop. You've chose to go along and get your package. Now let's choose Brother Crypto Steve and learn how we can create what we have right now, along with what we're going to gain. See, we learn to train and master over little, will be granted victory over. So you want to be there, you want to be a part of it. We're very excited. Tickets have been moving, family. I'm here to tell you that the tickets, there's limited seating in this opportunity on Sunday. So you want to be there. Great understanding, that's good. Get a ticket for your friend. You want to be there. Guarantee your seat at the table with what you have. There are people right now who don't understand what they have in this opportunity, and that's okay, and that's all right, and that's common. It's supposed to be that way because we're in a pre-launch stage. There's a lot involved. Look, Jesus said, there are many things that I could tell you, but you cannot bear them. But when he comes, the Spirit of truth, he will guide you into all truth and leave you with great countenance and abstinence. Boy, I'm telling you, we are in that hour. And that Spirit of truth is found in Wealth Builders Worldwide. And we will bring to you and the substance. It's a hand that's outstretched. You just have to grab it. So I hope you find yourself in the seat on Sunday with us. Please share it out everywhere, even if it's not for you. You know somebody that can absolutely use it. So share it out, share it out, share it out. Do some things that are going to blow minds this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. The donation or the admission price is $25. You know, let's keep it moving. Let's put ourselves in the place to be. You know, say that one more. I don't even know if I can, you know. will allow the truth to resonate and speak for itself. You know? So please get your tickets. I can't stress that enough. Chairman of the board of Gold Standard Bank, Mr. Joseph, you up. Going to mess you up. So I hope and pray that you all make it to the event of that day. And okay, not just that, I'm stuck right there, but I also want you to embrace Brother Mustafa, Sister Janetta Muhammad, and Brother Roland Muhammad, Milton Muhammad, and Sister Roz Range, and Sister Veronica Burrows, and Brother Chris Allen, and all of those who have this opportunity is known as Paximune. It's the dietary supplement that has proven itself to not only create the metabolism, not only to help to restore the health of people who have been victimized by this scourge known as COVID-19, also help to restore a body that was battling with it. And even further, now it helps you to prevent getting it out here right now. You know, this thing is mutating in ways that the world can't even imagine. You know, and thank you, Brother Mustafa. It is a life-saving community that we're a part of in Wealth Builders Worldwide, because we're in the salvation business. Call yourself Muslim, Christian, Jew, agnostic. You can be part of every spiritual center. You can be a part of every conviction-based organization that's volumes to the freedom and the needs for freedom amongst the people. When you're willing to step beyond those elements and include wellness and finance and marry it on to the personal missions and convictions of people as individuals and as a collective, then you are truly a servant, because you see the needs for the whole. Health is wealth. Health and wealth is our birthright. You know, like this, if I didn't see it popping up on the screen, y'all are giving me subject matters and live stream information. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. y'all messing me up. That's what's here. Y'all make sure that you walk in lockstep with Brother Mustafa and Sister Janetta and Sister Roz Range and Brother Chris and all those who have before them. And then, of course, join our presentation. That's right. Team Believe has Believe TV, y'all, and you can find it on our YouTube channel and platform. We've gone through some things, some birthing pains, to produce a format that will allow you to find your channels. What do I mean by find our channels? How to do things that you might have experienced in class and session programming of Wealth Builders Worldwide. You might have experienced from individuals within the collective community of Wealth Builders Worldwide. And in what we've done with not only our class and sessions, but you're going to have special original content coming to this platform from many of them to show you what it is they do on the wholeness, on the holistic, on the inspirational support teams and mechanisms. I mean, we have some real teachers and preachers learn about these truths, and you're going to learn how they apply to you. And more importantly, you can see it can be done because your sister or brother is doing it right in front of you. Power of this kind of unity. You see people in front of you and you know you can accomplish it because those people that you walk with each and every day, talk to each and every day, it. And as many of us doubt and we speculate and we peek around the corners and we talk about the person because they're not moving in the way we used to move, all of a sudden you see trying to urge you to get to all along. It's not too late. We're all still breathing. But you need a platform where you can go back and review and study some of those things and add to it so you'll know how to maneuver in this hour. Because, family, we love on everybody, but we wait for nobody because we're in the salvation We can't wait for you to decide to be free. There's 7.7 billion people in the world who know they want it. We got a job to do. Until you get up to speed, join us on Team Believe. If you find yourself looking for motivation, join Team Television, Team Believe TV. If you're looking for the how to do anything, it's like Sister Sharon says, my Lord, just believe. Just believe. And everything, not just everything, but everything in my Crypto Steve voice, everything gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. I know you're listening to Crypto. So look, ladies and gentlemen, join us again. Please make sure you're available this Sunday. Share it out. Take a screenshot. Share it everywhere. You know, it's an Eventbrite platform where you have to get your ticket. Okay, make sure you get it. Get it for those. If you can, you can. But I'm telling you, we weren't even advertising, and 11 tickets were sold right out the clip. You know, there's limited seating. You want to, and last shall be first. There you go. Last first. When he comes, the Spirit of truth, he will guide you into all truth, and you'll find out with great substance and great countenance. And family, we find that in Wealth Builders Worldwide. The vision that God has of Mr. Ty and Mrs. Valerie Best, the visions and the hope that were put on the minds and heart of El Dalco and Mrs. Manisha Dalco. That combination, family, has produced Wealth Builders Worldwide. And it's of all the accolade it can give, because more than 150,000 people in the last 7 years can't claim anything or benefit of being associated with the philosophy, being associated with the culture, being associated with commitment, and seeing the success of those, showing us that we can do it as well. Connect to everything as Wealth Builders Worldwide. Connect to everything that is on that schedule. Make sure that you stay connected so you know where we are. Because in Wealth Builders Worldwide, family, truth be told, all we build are winners. I appreciate your time. We do have the Believers Huddle at 9:15. I'm rushing to get over there. It's a little fired up. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Family, those who have the coordinates for the Believers Huddle at 9:15 a.m. this morning, share it out. I didn't have time really to get it out this morning. And time is pretty much what I want to talk to you about brief on the Believers Huddle. See you at 9:15. Peace and power, family. Love you all. See you on the Power Call. Forward.
Oh, my people, I want you to understand and know the time. It's time that we are accepted and respected by both man and mankind. You know, the scripture says that God would choose those that are despised and rejected. And we have been that and cast aside. No one wanted us, and no one cared for us. And the worst thing about it, we never cared for ourselves. Oh, but brothers and sisters, it's time now that we fall in love with ourselves and with each other. This has robbed us of a true guide, but it's time to unite and fight hard for unity. Brothers and sisters, we must live for each other. and die for each other, because that's the only way that we're gonna know the meaning of what it is to be free. Then we'll conquer fear, wipe away all our tears. That's the benefit of our unity. Oh, my people, it is written that in the last days God would come after that sheep that was lost, and he has come today, and he has given us Elijah, a man to show us the way out of the ditch of hell. So up, you mighty nation, you can accomplish anything that you will. So come on, let's rise again. Yes, let us build again. As our fathers built the pyramids and the Sphinx and all of the great ancient wonders. Let's rise again and build as our fathers used to do. Come on, let's unite. And strive with all our might. Oh, let's fight hard for unity. Brothers and sisters, we must learn to live for each other and die for each other, because that's the only way we're gonna know the joy of being free. We'll conquer fear. Then we'll conquer fear and wipe away all our tears. That's the benefit of our unity. Come on, black man, rise again. Build again. Rise again. The basis of unity is love. When we love each other, we come into unity with each other. And when we're in unity, we have the strength and the power to overcome all obstacles in the pathway of our freedom. Yes, brothers and sisters, this is the benefit of our unity. So let's rise again. Come on, black man, rise again. Brothers and sisters, come on, let's build again. Bit of unity. So let's rise again. And build again. Benefit of unity. So let's rise again and build again. So let's rise again and build again. So let's rise again. Benefit of unity.